keyboard on this computer, live on Facebook. We've got 20 seconds. Oops, I gotta pick what page it's going on. Still not there. Next. Okay, it's preparing the live streaming. Still waiting. Not now. Okay, so I think we are live. Live producer, and then way to go to live stream settings. Unless I'm wrong. I think we're oh, go live now, sorry. Go live anyway. Now it's setting up the meeting again. This may be posted on 20 different Facebook pages. I'll find out. Okay. I think we are almost there. Yes. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We have some guests and a little bit of tech wrestling going on here, but I think we're live and ready to go. Welcome to the Young Tradition Vermont contest winner announcements and the Young Tradition Touring Group Raffle winner announcement. We're going to announce those winners after we're done talking and hearing some other folks sing and play. Young Tradition Vermont has a lot of reasons for existing, and Young Tradition Vermont is interested in making sure folks are inspired about traditional music and dance, make sure that they have a chance to learn about it, make sure they have a chance to perform it, and then to use that interest and that ability to serve their communities and the communities that we visit. So you're going to be hearing from me, and you'll be hearing from Yazi Zeichner. And I'm going to turn that over to Yazi now. She has a few things to say about what we're going to be seeing next.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'll just tell you a little bit about Young Tradition Festival and what it usually looks like, and then what we'll be talking about next during this little segment. Young Tradition Festival used to be just a weekend event, but last year we transitioned it into being a week-long thing. And it brings together multiple generations of trad musicians and dancers and gives young folks in the community in Vermont and beyond Vermont a chance to share what they do with the community. So Young Tradition Festival would have been this past week, would have started on Monday and then gone through Sunday. It would have had acoustic evening concerts during the weekdays. Alistair Fraser with the film The Groove Is Not Trivial, Liz Carroll, Grosse Ile, which is an Irish and Quebecois trio on fiddle, uilleann pipes, and guitar, Eric Wright and Mari Rankin, and then Spin Tuition and Pete's Posse all would have been performers. And they've all been invited to come back for next year's festival, and hopefully we'll get some combination of them back. And we also had last year and this year, we're planning on having festival clubs or sessions that happen after the concerts. We would have had school visits and a hospital visit. Some bands would have visited hospital, UVM, and visited multiple Burlington schools. Today would have been the contest finals, where the 10 finalists in the contest would have gotten to perform live at City Hall in Burlington, and the audience would have voted on who the top 3 would have been. And we, this evening, would have had the mentor student showcase, which would have started about now, I think. And that's a hugely popular concert that could go on all night if we didn't decide we were going to have a cutoff point. And then on Sunday, there would have been a John Cohen tribute concert. Every year we pick someone different and important in the musical community. And this year, because of COVID-19, all of that has been called off, but we decided to continue the contest online. And this year, we didn't have an audience voting group, but the YTV board selected judges from the musical and dance community in Vermont, and past winners voted on the submissions that we got. And then everybody would rank their top 10, and the points are added up to reach 10 finalists and the first, second, and third place winners. And speaking of past winners, we have a bunch of our past winners from last year here. We've got Spin Tuition and Nora Rhodes, and we're going to hear a bit from both of them during the segment. So I'll pass things on to Spin Tuition now.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to start by saying a big thank you to YTV. We had a lot of fun being a part of the contest last year, and used our winnings to go towards an album that we produced in the fall, which was also a lot of fun. And we sort of toured around and had a lot of fun sharing the album and the material that we worked on at the end of December with a bunch of audiences. Do you want to say anything, Silas?
I think we played the New World Festival, which was one of our first non-dance gigs, which is really fun, and it kind of, we spiraled out of control, out of the dance world and into the performance world, which is a lot of fun. So we're excited about that repertoire as well. We were really excited to come up and play the whole week at the festival this year. But yeah.
All right. You want to say anything about the video that?
And we have a video that's our, yeah.
Silas, you might have to finish this. No, there's Samuel.
We have our first. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
All right. This is our first sort of distance collaboration, which was an experiment, but turned out to be a lot of fun. We have a video of a set of Breton tunes that we all love, and we recorded it in separate locations and managed to meld it together. Yeah.
All right, so I'll put the video on. Patience here while I figure out exactly how to do this. It'll take me a second to find it. Let's see, Spin Tuition. Is it on the screen?
Yes.
All right.
All right, well, thanks Spintuition for putting the effort into that video. Spintuition would have been the host band for this year's festival. Last year, the host band was Pete's Posse, and what the host band does is they open all of the evening concerts with a guest set. They play a guest set at the contest, and they host all of the after concert sessions. So that would have been Spintuition this year. So maybe they'll come back next year. We'll see. And so last year at the contest, for the first time, we had a tie for first place. So Spintuition tied with Nora Rhodes. And Nora, now I'm going to pass the baton on to you and you can share some music with us.
Hi. All right. So I'm sorry I don't have an excuse to fly up to Vermont and beautiful Burlington, but I'm very glad that we can have the Youth Traditional Musician Awards online instead. I would like to take this opportunity to properly thank YTV and especially Mark for everything. When I came up to Vermont for a year, YTV gave me a folk music community away from home and an opportunity to learn and experience a very different traditional music culture. If it were not for YTV giving me a spot in their room at Folk Alliance last February, I would never have been able to convince my father to drive me up to Montreal. And that was really an incredible experience, with rooms and halls full of all-night music from all across the world. While I was in Vermont with YTV support, I was able to delve into the Margaret MacArthur collection, and I returned last October to Vermont to perform a house concert on her life and work. And I've been able to share her collection at the Folklore Society of Greater Washington's Getaway and at Young Traditional Song Weekend in Massachusetts. So all of my travel to DC for research and music circles, has now been postponed, and all of the traditional music programs I had planned for the summer have been cancelled. But I've discovered that there are now online singing circles from California and Boston and Ireland and England. So I've had an opportunity to participate in those and share the New England and Vermont songs which I've learned. So those transatlantic circles are really quite incredible, something that's come out of this time. So, I mean, I had a gap semester planned for performance and research in folk music in the UK for this fall, so I'll have to see when I can travel. But in the meantime, I intend to continue attending online singing circles and vocal and instrumental workshops and concerts. So for tonight, I'd like to sing for you "She Moved Through the Fair," and this is a mysterious lover's tale which I learned from my first folk mentor, Alan Garjan. My young love said to me, my father won't mind, and my mother won't slight you for your lack of kind. And she stepped away from me, and this she did say, it will not be long, long, till our wedding day. She stepped away from me, and she moved through the fair. And so fondly I watched her move here and move there. And she made her way homeward with one star away. As the swan in the evening moves over the lake. The people were saying that no two e'er were wed, but that one had a sorrow that never was said. And she smiled as she passed me with her goods and her gear. But that was the last that I saw of my dear. Last night she came to me, my lost love came in, and so softly she entered that her feet made no din, and she stepped up to me, and this she did say, it will not be long till our wedding day. Thank you. And I hope you all stay safe and well.
Thank you, Nora. So we just heard from Nora and Spintuition, who would have had guest sets at the contest finals, which would have been today if it weren't for COVID-19. But here we are. And we are going to announce the winners of this year's contest after we talk about the violin raffle. I'm sure you've all been wondering why there's a violin sitting there in one of the Zoom boxes, but it's a raffle violin, and Mark is going to talk more about that.
Yeah, thanks, Yazi, and thanks, Nora. And Spintuition was so fortunate to have you involved in this and also in last year, and looking forward to more opportunities in the future. So I want to just talk about the touring group for a few minutes, and then have Kathy Riley from Vermont Violin's Burlington Violin Shop talk a bit about how the violin was put together. Can you see the violin that looks like a string bass there with Deborah? Deborah, why don't you unmute and say something just so that we can see it?
Well, it's hard to fit it in the frame, but it's, Kathy will be able to talk more about the specifics, but it does look like a bass at this angle.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I've got a bass over my left shoulder if we need a bass, but I don't think we need that right now. So let me just say a few things about the touring group and then ask Kathy to say a few things. So the touring group is a year-long project. In fact, our recruiting and auditioning is done in the summer. So preparing for this year started in May of 2019, just about the time that the touring group played its final concert at City Hall as part of Young Tradition Festival, which would have happened tonight. This would have been the last sort of public performance of the current touring group. So we do rehearsals, and then we do rehearsals after we do the auditioning and the recruitment. That starts in September, and then September through May we do the rehearsals. Starting in January, we do concerts, usually about one a month in different places throughout Vermont. And then in April, we do a tour somewhere. In the past, we've been to Cape Breton and Ireland and England and Scotland and New York City and New Jersey last year. And then we were supposed to go to Japan this year. In some ways, what we're dealing with today in Vermont, in the Northeast, is what I was hearing from folks when I was trying to negotiate the details about going to Japan back in December and January. So it feels like I've been living with this for quite some time, although I've been in social isolation that long. And it turns out that the area we were going to in Japan actually they have one confirmed case and no deaths in the prefecture in Japan. So interesting turn of events. Vermont Violins and Burlington Violin Shop in particular have been a great partner for us over the years. We have our Fiddleheads program there about once a month, sometimes more. We were going to do World Fiddle Day this year that we've done there in the past. That would be May 16th, but we can't do that as a public event. Not exactly sure what we're going to end up with there. We have had touring groups that have come and visited us either before or after we visited them. So they always go to the violin shop for a reception or to do a tour of the manufacturing or the building of violins in the shop. And Kathy's always welcomed us there, and her staff are just incredible. It's one of our favorite places to be and everything we do. So we've had visitors from Cape Breton, England, the Hudson River Valley, the Franklin County Fiddlers of Maine have all come through there and either done a tour of the shop or played out in front of the shop in Burlington. It's been really great. And I certainly want to mention that one of the alums of the touring group is Kaylee Cronick, who's Kathy's son, who's now away at college and still doing musical things. So just I wanted to lead in and just say how incredible it's been to be a partnership with Vermont Violins and the Burlington Violin Shop and how much they've done for us. And we'll continue to work with them in the future, whatever format that takes. And thanks for being here, Kathy. I'll let you say a few things.
All right. Hey, thanks, Mark. It's it goes both ways. In fact, I can't remember being in the shop and not being linked in somehow with Young Traditions Vermont. It's just like it's part of who we are, and it goes back to like why we build these instruments. It started with one of the members who was actually in the touring group and in YTV, who never grew, but he became a better and better player. And our head luthier at the time said, he needs a better violin. And I was like, well, I can't get one. He's too short. And so our head luthier was like, okay, well, let's just build one. And that's where this started. And that's why we keep going, is because of kids who are in YTV, kids who are in VYOA. It's about our community and building that community. And music in particular is such a powerful thing for kids who grow up in Vermont in particular, because in some ways, when I grew up here, I remember being very isolated. I think we did 2 trips as a family that went outside of Vermont when I was growing up. So giving kids these days the opportunity to challenge themselves through music, to grow through music, and to become world citizens, which is what the YTV helps these kids do, is explore other parts of the world using music as the connection to other kids their age, to learn other cultures through music, and to do those exchanges. To me, seems to be invaluable. And for our shop, that's the whole purpose of music, is to give us the ability to communicate with other people, other cultures, other parts of the world in a safe, nurturing, culturally sensitive environment. So one of the things Mark asked was like, how do we build these instruments? The other part of our mission is to supply luthiers with jobs that allow them to use their artistic creativity. The Richelieu line is our way of doing that. We have 7 different luthiers who are working on this, ages 22 to 60. They all work together as a team. It's fascinating to listen to them beat up different issues, like how do we graduate the tops? What wood do we use? How do we measure the sound of speed traveling through this wood? We work with other luthiers like Zygmunt Tovich, like Joseph Curtin, engineers in Switzerland, engineers in Japan, in terms of measuring the characteristics and the traits, and how do we do the varnish, which we build in, which we create in-house. We're working on environmentally sensitive ways to make these instruments better. Engineers in Switzerland have find alternatives to ebony. We're working with a logger in the Northeast Kingdom to come up with sustainable wood from New England to use for the backs and the scrolls. So the project is about community, about building creativity in luthiers, about building connections through our community with the children and with adults through the culture. So that's why we do it, and YTV is a really critical part for us in terms of making that happen. So thank you to Mark, thank you to YTV, thank you to Yazi for all the work that you do. Thanks,
Kathy. This I should say that this is not the first time that Vermont Violins has done that. Deborah, come on in. So we did this when we also raffled a violin donated by Vermont Violins when we went to Ireland in 2016. And I think Kathy was on that trip. Yeah.
I was.
All right. All right. Great.
It's amazing.
Had to get you out of town for a little bit. All right. So what we have here is we're going to do this raffle for the violin. And I just thought I'd say there's about, let me hold this up here for a minute. Can you see this? Yeah. So there's about 600 tickets in there. There's about 600 tickets in there. We've raised about $5,000 through this effort. The violin is worth about $5,500, so it's a great bargain to have one of these tickets in the bucket just to have the chance. I want to say that whoever is named, we will get in. If you're listening, you can get in touch with us. But if you're not listening, we'll get in touch with you, or we'll get in touch with them, and we'll work out the details. What I'd like to do, assuming that we can work it out in terms of social distancing and all that, is have the violin at one of the shops, and folks could pick it up there. It certainly makes it easier than shipping it somewhere. We don't want to take that chance. All right,
Yeah.
so Deborah, get over here and tell us what you've done here to mix these up.
Well, I just mixed them up.
Okay, all right. So I'm not going to look. This is really awkward for me, because what if I pick my name? Right?
No, you're not.
No, I didn't put my name on any. I put other people's names. So,
All right, you're gonna pick.
all right. So here we go. I don't want to look. This one feels warm. All right. So the winner is Bob Warrington. Bob Warrington. I don't know if anybody knows Bob, but we have his phone number and his email address, and we will let him know.
All right, congratulations.
Yeah.
We're in
Oh, okay. Right there.
Just
Oh,
go
okay.
lower.
Oh, really? Oh, lower.
Oh, hey, that's Oren. Thank you, Oren.
Congratulations, Bob.
Yeah, do you know Bob?
Nope.
Okay, great. Thanks, Deborah.
Thanks.
All right, so that's congratulations. That is fantastic. Now let's go back to the contest, and Yazi's going to take it from here, I think.
Sure, yeah. So this is the part the violin raffle was exciting, but this is more exciting for me. We had 25 submissions, video submissions to our contest this year, which is impressive considering that last year we were going to have a live contest finals. We had, I think, 25 or 27 submissions. So this is comparable to past years. It's great that we got this kind of turnout. And I just want to congratulate everyone who submitted something to the contest. Everyone sounded amazing. The quality of the work that was submitted was really great. And when I was receiving all the votes from board members and judges and past winners by email, and everyone who sent me an email also, they listed their top 10, but they also said that it was really, really hard to pick which groups to vote for to end up with 10 finalists. So everyone, congratulate yourselves, give yourselves a round of applause. Everyone did a really good job. So we have 10 finalists, and with the most points racked up. And the 3 out of those 10 who got the most points are going to receive, they're the first, second, and third winners. And the rest of the 10 finalists, that leaves 7, will each get $100 for being in that group of 10. And if you're listening, we'll need some information from you to know where to send that $100 to, but I can send out emails to everyone and collect that information. So I'm going to name all of the finalists and finish off with naming the top winners. And it's kind of strange to be doing this remotely, because usually we're doing this to a city hall in Burlington full of people. And there's applause after everyone is named, and there's applause all the time, and there are flowers being handed out, and we usually have most of the contestants up on the stage with us to receive their awards. So feel free in your own homes to applause or do something celebratory. So let's see, I'm gonna read off my list here. So the 10 finalists, or the 7 finalists before we get to the 3 top winners, are Benjamin Foss, Emilienne and Lauriane Durocher, the Carter Girls, Owen Kennedy, the Brothers Dupé and Simon Lace, the Kowal Family Band, and Jiri and Uma Peters. So congratulations for making it into the top 10 to all of you. And now we have the 3 top winners. We have in 3rd place, Francois Felix Roy. In 2nd place, we have Abby Sandy and Sebastian West. And in 1st place, we have Andrew Caden. So we will be sending emails to all of those people to collect the information on where to send the awards. And once again, congratulations to everyone who took part in this.
All right, thanks, Yazi. Before you guys, let me say a few thank yous. And given that I'm going to find Andrew's submission, and we'll go out with a video of Andrew's contest submission. So thanks all the guests. Nora for this distance maybe. Spin Tuition. Samuel and Silas, thanks. Kathy, brief appearance there by Oren. Yazi, Deborah. So thanks for being part of this. Congratulations to the raffle winner, to Bob Warrington, and to the contest winners. And I echo what Yazi said about all of the submissions were really fantastic. Thank you for doing that. Each year you're making it harder and harder for us. So the next thing that I'm really glad this worked out, and I'm looking at the other computer over here, and I can see that it's live on Facebook on the Young Tradition page. So yay! I was really worried about that. I wasn't sure. And we've got a few concerts coming up that we're going to do the same way. Katie McNally Trio are going to do something next Friday in the same format, and Yazi and her siblings are doing something on May 22nd. Which would have otherwise been our annual farewell reunion up in Sheldon, but we're going to do it there instead. And I think they might have another group that's going to be part of that as well. So thanks a lot. I'm going to put, you can end now, or you can stick around and see a little bit of, I'm trying to do too many things here at once. Stick around and watch Andrew play a little bit of music here. If I can find his, there we go.
And all of the contest submissions can be seen on the YTV website.
Great.
If anyone's interested in going back and reading about the contestants and seeing all the submissions.
Great. Okay, thank you all. Have a good rest of the weekend. Be safe and stay that way. Sorry.
It's right there on the screen.
There it is. All right. Thanks again. I'm sorry the little bumpy ride there in terms of getting that video up. Hopefully you saw it a little bit of it. You could hear it, etc. Good? Yeah. All right. Bye, everyone.